सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम् श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं शङ्करं शङ्कराचार्यं केशवं बादरायणं सूत्रभाष्यकृतौ वन्दे भगवन्तौ पुनः पुनः यैरिमे गुरुभिः पूर्वं पदवाक्यप्रमाणतः व्याख्याताः सर्ववेदान्तास्तान् नित्यं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। ॐ श्रीमहागणपते नमः। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ श्री गुरुभ्यो नमः। We have been trying to understand some basic and foundational principles of Shankara Vedanta. The interpretations given by Sri Shankarāchārya are referred to sometimes as Shankara Vedanta. These have been a bit subtle, sukshma. These are a bit intellectually challenging. These require both listeners and the speaker to be relatively more attentive than in the case of many other valid and beneficial spiritual programs. In those programs, there may be on one extreme some katha, stories. There may be more illustrations, there may be more concrete examples, there may be narrations or descriptions which are akin to scenes and scenarios that we regularly, ordinarily, usually come across in life. So by saying some of these discussions are a bit subtle, all that is meant is our mind may not be generally used to this kind of looking at things. However, in all the schools of thought, there are such portions which are a bit hard to understand, and they are very important for our ego being very subtle to nab this ego, the avidya, the adhyasa, or the ignorance, nescience being of very intricate nature. In order to be free of it, no matter on what path you are, no matter which school of thought you are following, you need to at some point of time roll up your sleeves and put your teeth to these very hard issues. I said on any path, even in bhakti marga, which is generally said to be easy, in order to really get free or get freed, one has to go very far. One has to get rid of very, very subtle attachments and identifications, very, very subtle forms of self-description. In fact, Jnana Marga, which is generally considered hard, I would in a manner of saying say, that it is openly hard, and Bhakti Marga, which is said to be easy, on surface is easy. Deep inside, everything is difficult. It is in the 5th shloka, I think, of 12th chapter of Gita, that Lord Krishna says that Jnana Yoga is more difficult. Kleshodhikarastesham avyaktasakta chetasam. And I like that expression Sri Krishna has used there. He says, kleshaha, difficulty, hardship, or as you say in slang language, hassles. The hassles are adhika taraha. They are much more on the path of jnana. What does it mean? If you carefully see the statement, it means there is plenty of klesha in Bhakti Marga also. To surrender is no joke. To give up our identity and to really say, I belong to you, O Lord. I have nobody and nobody is mine, and so on, is no joke. Though there may be some poetic beauty, many people enjoy such expressions because they are very similar to human love. Sometimes the rasa, the poetry of human love we know. We know how we get attached to various people all through our life. In Jnana Yoga, the language is apparently difficult. This morning we are going to look at a very important mantra of one of the Upanishads, that is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. And as we apply our mind to this task of understanding Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma properly, very many important basics of Advaita Vedanta rise. They come to the surface. First of all, where do we find this and what is the context? In Krishna Yajurveda, there is a very prominent Upanishad, Taittiriya Upanishad. And there again, there are 3 chapters called Vallis. Shiksha Valli, Brahmananda Valli and Bhragu Valli. Of these 3, the most difficult one is the middle one, Brahmananda Valli. It is both difficult as well as most resourceful, most valuable. Very many cardinal principles of Vedanta are available in this Brahmananda Valli. The Brahmananda Valli, the chapter Valli that goes into giving an idea or picture of Brahma Ananda, the bliss of realizing Brahman, begins with a statement about which Shankara says, this statement is the essence of this whole chapter. The statement with which this Valli begins is what is elaborated in the rest of the Valli. So it begins with Om Brahmavid Apnoti Param. That is how it begins. As you know, Veda mantras have certain swaras, and not only scholars, speakers on philosophy, but priests also chant these mantras on very many auspicious occasions. Taittiriya Upanishad in its 3 vallis is recited by priests in many karmas. I do not precisely know where it fits in very well. sometimes maybe as fillers also, which is not a bad idea. One karma is over, another karma, another homa, another havana is yet to start, and to engage all the participants in a good way. They may recite all the three vallis of Taittiriya Upanishad. Om Brahma Vida Apnoti Param Tadeshabhyukta Satyam Jnanamanantam Brahma Yo Veda Nihitam Guhayam Parame Vyoman. Like this, it's beautiful. Early morning, if we listen to the chant and if we ourselves recite, it can be very uplifting in its own way. What to talk of, if we know the meanings, they are indeed very stimulating. Brahmavid apnoti param. This is seminal statement. Rest of the valli, it is said, is an elaboration. What does this statement, which is, I said, seminal, mean? One who knows Brahma. Brahmavit is Brahmavetti iti Brahmavit. The verbal root vid, sometimes by sandhi rules it becomes with, vid or with. The root is vid. So vid means to know. The very word Veda comes from the verbal root vid. So Brahmavid means one who knows Brahman. Apnoti, obtains. Param means, in this context, the supreme, the ultimate. Here itself there rises an interesting and very, very fundamental principle of ADVAITA VEDΑNTA. By knowing Brahma, you attain Brahma. Nothing needs to be done. By merely knowing. And not only someone like Ādi Shankara give that interpretation, but he draws from mantras elsewhere in the Upanishads which seem to support that idea. What is the idea? You know it and you have it. By knowing the latest model of Tesla, you will not have a Tesla parked in front of your house. You will have to book it, and in due course of time you will get it. Whereas here, by knowing what Brahma is, you attain that Brahma. A famous, much quoted mantra elsewhere, that is in Atharva Veda's Mundaka Upanishad, in a popular version, says Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. I called it popular version because I will tell you the original form, which is a little longer sentence, but it has been simplified by speakers and writers. Brahmavid, knower of Brahma, Brahma eva bhavati. In the so-called Midas touch, King Midas touches something, it becomes gold. Whatever he touches turns into gold. Here, you know Brahma and you become Brahma. We don't say it happens with everything else. You know a chair and you become a chair. This business is restricted to Brahma only. You know Brahma, you become Brahma. Brahmavit Brahmaiva Bhavati. The original line, if you look up Mundaka Upanishad, is in meaning the same, but the words go like this. Sayo havai tat paramam brahma veda brahmaiva bhavati. He or she who knows the Supreme Brahma becomes Brahma. So that longer sentence put in simpler Sanskrit is Brahmavid Brahmaiva Bhavati. Sayo havai tat paramam Brahma Veda Brahmaiva Bhavati is the longer sentence. Right here a question arises. That is not how things happen in life. By knowing a chair, you don't become a chair. By knowing what it is to be the president of USA, you don't become the president. Everywhere, knowing could be a beginning, then you need to do something. And that is where Ādi Shankara would explain that in this case, Brahma that you would know through study is, in simple terms, never away from you. It is your nature. It was, is, and will be your nature. Therefore, it is, as they say in a simple Sanskrit phrase, praptasya praptihi. It is attainment of whatever is already attained. In the case of something which already is attained, all you need to know or all you need to do is to know that you have it. You have a nidhi, a treasure under the earth in your own backyard. You don't know it. Recently you have run into financial difficulties and you are going from pillar to post for some financial help. That is when a friend of your grandfather, who luckily is still alive and around, chances upon you and says, "What are you talking? Have you not taken that nidhi out, that treasure out?" "Which nidhi, which treasure?" And the friend of your grandfather, if he had not met you now, in a few days he also would go up. But luckily, just in time, you came across that friend who said, "Oh, I thought you knew. Your grandfather had told me. I thought he would have told you because we have been out of touch. I moved to another town," all that. Just go behind your house in the backyard, below the tamarind tree, and then this grandson digs up, and the treasure that he unearths is enough for 3 generations. So, praptasya prapti. Numerous examples are given in the Prakarana Granthas for this. Attaining what actually is already attained, your own true nature. But as we have been dealing with it from the first class in this series, even though our true nature is one with Brahma, there is an error in perception, and this error is so intricate, even leave alone novices or beginners, advanced Vedanta scholars who have read a lot have made it into some kind of substance. Avidya is a substance which is seated here, which is rooted there, which is anchored there, which is operating here. They have conceived of it as a substance or as some matter or as some energy or as some force. Whether it is a force or matter or energy or substance or liquid or gas or solid, whatever, one common word in philosophy for that kind of existing in some form is bhava rupa. Bhava means bhavati. Bhavati means asti. What is asti? It is. Solid is, liquid is, gas is, energy is. Right? In gross and subtle forms, very many things are. That is asti. Asti iti astitvaha, or astitvam I should say. A synonym of asti in Sanskrit is bhavati. Though in some contexts, some of you know some Sanskrit surely, In some contexts, bhavati means becomes. A child becomes an adult. Balaha yuva bhavati. There is becoming. But the verbal root bhu bhavati primarily has the sense of to be, not become. So, when you think of avidya as existing in some form, somewhere, and then having its expressions at other places also, like a company has headquarters in Los Angeles and has branches in San Jose, in Sacramento, and somewhere abroad also. If you think of avidya in that way, it is over there and it then shows its ugly head over here, then philosophically we call it bhava rupa avidya. Whereas if it is not any such substance, neither matter nor energy, nor some other subtle thing having a location, it is not located anywhere, the error in seeing itself is avidya. Then we would say it is not bhava rupa. Bhava is existing in some form, located somewhere, and being cause of something else. Whereas it is possible to appreciate avidya as the error itself is avidya. You see wrongly, that itself is called avidya. And since you see wrongly, that seeing wrongly is not a substance, but since you saw wrongly, you may have a whole lot of worldly issues, worldly problems, body identification, and evaluating yourself, judging yourself as high or low, good or bad, successful or failure, worthy or unworthy, lagging behind or way ahead. In daily life, all of us go through ups and downs. We go through the pangs of loss, separation, defeat, and so on. Also, we ride high on occasions, thinking of ourselves as, now I have everything under my control. So there is the self in us which goes up and down, which gets elated or depressed, the self with a lowercase s, the little I. When somebody praises us, we feel good. Who is that feels good? You say, I felt good. That I is actually the little I, the self, not the all-pervasive self, Shuddha Atma, that the Advaita Vedanta talks about. The Shuddha Atma, which is translated as the pure self, or sometimes the self, but with an uppercase S. In the Advaita Vedanta, you have a self with uppercase S and another self which is lowercase s. The lowercase self by nature is manifold. You have yourself, I have myself, she has herself, he has his self. The lowercase self is individual I sense. I-sense. The one sun in the sky gets reflected in 1,000 buckets filled with water. If your attention is upon the image formed in the water in the bucket, you say there are 1,000 suns. If you lift your head and look up in the sky, you will come across the one sun That is the true sun, and these are appearances. So, since the matter of praptasya prapti came, we say, you are the pure self, and this pure self will be made clearer and clearer as we get into the Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. For everyone would wonder, what is this pure self? In what sense does Vedanta say there is something called our true nature? What is this true nature? The explanation with regard to it is provided in Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, but at this point, just to review and revise the discussion we had already, the undivided, all-pervasive pure self, due to an error in seeing, creates this manifold universe. And in previous classes, we went into the technicalities. The individual who is going through this pluralistic experience is already and is himself or herself part of this superimposition. That is what makes it very hard. But it cannot be otherwise. Somebody may want a simpler model, but then there would be serious contradictions with the primary statements of the Vedanta, such as Brahma is one without a second. Only an error can actually bring about this. In reality, there cannot be a pluralistic universe and the individuals, plants, birds, animals, human beings, devas, yakshas, kinnaras, gandharvas, that entire plurality in reality just cannot happen. Therefore, Shankara's position with regard to the universe coming from Brahma is, we had talked about it, Vivartavada. Vivarta means an appearance upon the reality. Actually, nothing has happened. In other schools of thought, it is Parinamavada. Brahma actually has become this universe. In Madhva Siddhanta, the countless forms of creatures and this inert world also, hills and rivers and everything, all of them are real. I don't know more about it, but if you want a whole shloka that summarizes Sriman Madhva Siddhanta, I myself came across it two days ago. Swami Ananda can supply you, not Chidananda. You go to Swami Ananda, and in English you key in Sriman Madhva Mate. Put that word. That's what I did. After somebody in Fremont said to me, I was curious. So on a smartphone I keyed in Sriman Madhva Mate, because that friend gave 3 or 4 words. By the time I came back, I forgot the later words, but the first word I caught. And to my delight, the whole shloka came without even Devanagari Sanskrit. So in English I wrote Sriman Madhva Mate Harihi Parataraha Satyam Jagat. Hari, Sri Vishnu, he is the highest, principle one. Satyam Jagat. This entire universe is real. It's not Maya, it is not appearance, it is not some, magic show. Satyam Jagat. And Bhedaha, the differences are real. Taratamya, high and low. We go around, those of us who have been exposed to Advaita, We go around and tell sometimes foreigners and others also, no, Hinduism doesn't talk of many gods. One God and many forms, it is one only. That is the Advaita standpoint. It is not the standpoint of all Hindu schools of thought. In Madhvamata, there are many gods, but then the supreme God is Hari, then Shiva, Brahma, Indra, all of them. Indra is not Hari and Hari is not Indra. So they have this picture. Taratamya. Tama means the highest, Tara is one level below, the superlative and comparative degrees. And it is, as we have said several times, a very fascinating view also. Therefore, eminent people, even today, around the world, have embraced Srimad Madhvamata. Eminent people with no shortage of brains have embraced Vishishtadvaita, and lots of eminent people again, no shortage of brains there too, have gone for Advaita Mata. And you and I, what are we to do? Celebrate. You have not one, but 3 avenues to make your life sarthaka. So choose one of them. If you want to buy something and you go to a super mall, I want a soap, and they say we have 20 different brands. Do you say, what an unfortunate person I am unable to decide, I quit. You rather celebrate. Really? Then you select whatever appeals to you, you take. Therefore, in today's world, choose your path and reach on the scale of truth 950 first. Then let us see. Then we will see. Coming back, Shankara's position, which we are trying to clarify, is Vivartavada. Vivarta means like the rope appears as the snake. Like this pencil kept in water appears bent. In colloquial, they say, no, nothing has happened. I believe many years ago, UC Berkeley accepted that kind of language as also a valid language. We learnt, most of us learnt the Victorian British English. If nothing has happened, you have to say nothing has happened. You can't say no, nothing has happened. Double negative would mean positive, according to strict grammar. But there is, I suppose they call it black English. There is some name for it. There is another parallel English, which has incorrect grammar, going by your idea of grammar. But universities have adopted, have accepted and acknowledged that also is a language. It has its own grammar. No, nothing has happened means nothing has happened. So, long before black English used such expressions, Ādi Shankara has said, now, no, nothing has happened. The universe has never come. If you want another strong Sanskrit word for it, which finds an expression in Gaudapada's Mandukya Karikas, it's not an Upanishad, therefore the other schools of thought don't take it as a scripture at all. But in the Advaita school, the so-called Karikas, some 200 verses that Shankara's Parama Guru, Guru's Guru, wrote, they are called Karikas. Karika means an explanatory shloka. Suppose you learn Newton's 3 laws, and for the benefit of your grandchildren, you write 5 paragraphs each on each of the 3 laws. Those explanatory paragraphs on the 3 Newton's laws would be like Karikas. Mandukya Upanishad has only 12 mantras. If somebody believes here in economizing, I want to read an Upanishad daily morning, but I don't have much time. And I don't care what it means, but I want to recite one Upanishad before rushing to office. please read Mandukya Upanishad. 12 mantras, shortest. Ishavasya 18, Mandukya 12. I don't know any Upanishad which is shorter than that. I myself have to search. Probably not. But then, hardly anybody studies Mandukya or teaches Mandukya. I am talking of the Advaita school. Because it always comes with a companion. 200, very hard to digest. 200 explanatory shlokas of Sri Gaudapada. His disciple was Govindapada, and Govindapada's disciple was Sri Shankara. There is this expression, Ajati Vada, or sometimes called Ajata Vada. Jata means born. Jata means something has arisen. But Ajata means the world, the cosmos, the universe hasn't arisen at all. And if you say, oh, these old books, we don't know. Has anybody endorsed it in recent times? Sri Ramana Maharshi stood by it. Sri Ramana Maharshi of last century stood by Ajatavada. At many places, while answering questions, finally he comes to that. But I see the world. Who are you? Your credentials need to be questioned. In a kaleidoscope, you see multiple colors, multiple objects. If you question the kaleidoscope itself, then the validity of that multiplicity is dismissed. So on and on it goes, analogies. So there is an error and the plurality appears, but Brahma is the truth beneath the error. And you are that truth. Therefore, by knowing who you are, by just knowing Brahma vid, right? Apnoti param. As I was saying, lots of examples are given. The well-known example in Atma Bodha is of a lady who was getting ready to go to a party, or to make connect it better to this program, to go to a Vedanta class at 11 o'clock. And last moment, I wanted to wear that necklace today because Swāmiji is going to talk on Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and for that I have a special necklace which matches with that. Where is that? Where is that? I had kept it. Tomorrow class I am going to wear it. And she doesn't find. She goes to the dressing table, she goes to here, goes there, fretting and fuming. But then her daughter, she also searches a little. Then suddenly the daughter realizes, Amma is having it right on her neck only. But memory got frozen. Sometimes it happens to us. The memory of one of the 10 things gets frozen. I had kept it near the dress. I remember very well I had kept it. Unmistakably I remember I had kept it there. You did keep it there, but after that you took it and wore. That part got forgotten. So then the story ends. The daughter says, Amma, just relax. I know where it is. I saw it. I'll get it for you. Relax first, relax. Saying that, daughter got agitated a little. But successfully she made the mother sit down and then brings a mirror. Please see. And then the mother sees. Before that she is not available also. One had to prepare. That is called Chitta Shuddhi. She had to be prepared. So there is an expression in Atma Bodha, Swakanta bharanam yatha. Swa, one's own, kanta, neck, abharanam. Swakanta bharanam yatha. So all those are examples and examples, but to say to you, a traditional philosophical statement for which examples galore can be given. Shankara says here, Paramarthataha Brahma Rupasya. Paramarthataha means ultimately, in absolute sense, every one of us is Brahma Rupa. He is of the nature of Brahma only. However, Bhuta Matra Krita Bahya Parichinna Annamayadi Atmadarshinaha. There is taking the physical body to be oneself. I am this body. And what is more, as a result of it, tad asakta chetasaha. The person's mind becomes very attached to that. Like the lady who did not lose the necklace gets fixed or fixated in the thought. It's there, I had left it there, and so on. Fixation. Swami Tejomayananda once said a joke, not last month or last year, 1984. But some of these jokes, are timeless. One guy in Mulund in Mumbai, that place is not important. Mulund is a suburb in Mumbai. While going to office every day was, in India, there are wonderful scenes on the way. There was a buffalo whose horns were making a beautiful circle. Two horns of the buffalo were not complete circle, but almost a full circle. And he was amused by it. He said, wow, such a perfect circle, such a beautiful pair of horns and all that. Every morning while going to work, he was looking at it and thinking about it. Then after 6 or 7 days, a doubt arose in his mind, a question. Is that circle bigger than my head or smaller than my head? Why do you want to get into it? That is called tadasakta chetasaha. His mind got very interested in that question. And then, to make the long story short, on the 10th day, people found himself with his head inside that circle and crying out, "Bachao, bachao, save me, save me." People saved him, but everybody asked him that one question, how did you get into this? Why did you get into this? This is called fixation. And we are that guy in other ways. We wouldn't have put our head into a pair of horns of a buffalo, but all of us, the speaker not excluded, gets into some fixation. Nothing else exists then. That alone. So, when tadasakta chetasaha. And then Shankara himself, though he doesn't tell the whole story, makes a reference to the story of the lost 10th man. That is another illustration to indicate nothing is lost, but you imagine you have lost the 10th man. All of you know, but there may be 1 or 2 here who may not know the story. 10 people who are all very dull-witted swim and cross a river. Their guru had said to them, please time and again ensure that all of you are together. You are 10 leaving the ashram. When you return tomorrow, I want all of you in place and all that. So after swimming across the river, they stand in a line and counting takes place. Every one of those mandamatis counts 9 and leaves out himself. And there is such confusion, such sorrow, such chaos. Oh, where is the 10th man? I am poor in mathematics. You count. Everybody is equally dull-witted. And therefore, everybody makes the mistake. And referring to that, though without mentioning the 10th man as such, there is the expression, prakrita sankhya puranasya atmanah avyavahitasyapi. Avyavahita is a less known word, but it is nothing but unhidden. Vyavahita means hidden. When there is something and there is an obstruction for you to see it, that obstruction is called vyavadhana. Vyavadhana is the obstruction, and when something is obstructed from your eyesight, it is vyavahita. And Acharya says, avyavahitasyapi. The person counting the other 9 and imagining the 10th guy is dead, one of us drowned in the river, is he unable to see himself? Himself is most visible. Himself is most self-evident. His own, picture is not at all obstructed for any reason. Avyavahitasyapi bhāshyas sankhya or bhāshyas sankheya vishayasakta chittataya. Again, he counts from left to right, he counts from right to left, or any other way. All his attention is on the other 9, and he misses out himself. In this way, when the error, that mysterious error, inexplicable error, anirvachaniya avidya takes hold of us, even when we listen to countless Vedanta discourses, or someone like the speaker gives countless discourses, yet, all said and done, I once heard a statement, all said and done, much more is said than done. All said and done, we remain. At the most, after some classes, you people return home, today I understood. Now the work will begin. And the speaker also, today I think I spoke well. Now I am going to be more popular. Now the Bay Area will invite me more. The true nature of our own is left for later discovery. We'll come to it later. Right now we want to be popular, richer, more scholarly, more able, more fit. We have a long list of wishes which concern the personality. We are interested in decorating the personality, beautifying the personality. We are interested in giving greater continuity to our egoistic existence, our existence as somebody, as so and so. Really, my struggle for last 30 years has been, every time I say, I'm not interested in being a speaker on Brahma, but I want to be Brahma. But not easy. Energy goes again after every study. Nice example. I'm going to tell this in today evening's class. So, it is said so nicely. This evening's article I'm going to write this. Now more variations. I'll put it up on Facebook. I will tweet it today itself. Rather than stop. All that you have done enough. Why don't you question the basic identification with the personality? I'm going to do it one of these days. That one of these days becomes none of these days, as Ishwaran says. So, we have spent some time on this. I will just quote in last line. In the context of that 10th man story, Kenachit smaritasya. Smarana, remembering. Smarana is remembering, and smarana is somebody making you remember, which is in English reminding. Somebody gives you, call it memory, call it recognition. Somehow you have missed the point. Somebody says, hey, Where are you? Why are you searching for the 10th man? You are the 10th man. Tattvamasi. You are that. You are the one for whom you have been searching. You are looking at those 9 and you are leaving out yourself. That is called smarita. Smarati means one remembers. But somebody reminds you, in Sanskrit it is smarayati. Smarati, smarayati. Like in Hindi you have somebody drinks pita hai. And somebody gives a drink to you, pilata hai. Khata hai, khilata hai. In all our languages of India we have a verb and it is called causal verb. You cause somebody to drink. The child sleeps on her own, soti hai. And you put the child to sleep in singing a lullaby. Then sulate hain. Maa beti ko sulati hai. So we are unable to recognize who we are. A guru comes along. In the story of the 10th man, lost 10th man, in some version somebody comes on a horseback and sees all these 10 people crying, then says, "What's the problem?" Then he makes all of them stand, and they say, there are elaborate narrations of it, bringing into it additional components of significance as connecting with the theme. We will not go into it. Kenachit smaritasya punastasyaiva vidyaya aptihi. Avidyaya nashaha, when one didn't know and the sphere of error was operating, then there was as though nasha, loss. And the mantra we quoted, Brahmavid apnoti param, attains. This apti, this attainment, prapti, this obtaining. How does it happen? Vidyaya prapti. It is only by wisdom. It is only by right seeing. It's only by that intuitive grasp. It is wrong, not wrong to say, a kind of intuition. The Vedantic aha moment is a kind of intuition. Not the intuition that scientists had, not the intuition on other, therefore we say a kind of. It is on a different level, very fundamental level about who I am. You have been clinging to pictures of who I am, and then we would sometimes use the word, a quantum leap takes place. Entirely different, out of box. And you have, there is no shortage of expressions. Paradigm shift. That's what I have been doing for 30 years, collecting more expressions. Bamboozling audiences. They think they understood, I also think I understood. Later on we understand that we had not yet understood. Then the struggle begins again. However, here are the pointers. Avidyaya, nashaha, loss. But vidyaya, by wisdom, by knowledge, one regains. So therefore, in a manner of saying, it is said, Brahmavid, the knower of Brahma, apnoti, gets. By merely knowing, you cannot get something, unless it is like this. You are that already, and you thought you had lost it. Then, by knowing rightly, you get it. Now comes, before I enter Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, in fact I can enter. But still I will make a quick mention, I will come back to that again. The mantra goes, Brahmavidapnoti param tadesha abhyukta. Here is a mantra, esha rik. Mantraha is pullinga in grammar, but esha feminine is because rik is a feminine word. Depending on what word you have in mind, you have to use an appropriate pronoun. In those languages, which have a strict rule about, linga. South Indians many times have one problem with Hindi. I, after living in Varanasi, have a really quite good Hindi, but being from South originally, one problem I still have is how to remember Pullinga, Strilinga. मेरी किताब और मेरा किताब, आज अखबार आया या आज अखबार आई. Of course, we don't, those of us who have studied a little don't make such drastic or, unpardonable mistakes like, आपका पत्नी कहाँ गया? That we won't do. That is, terrible. We know that wife is feminine and husband, not generally, always is masculine. That we know. But this newspaper and table and chair, etc. In Sanskrit, that problem to a large extent doesn't exist because Sanskrit has all the three. Hindi and perhaps Oriya also, right? The Bengali, and you don't have Napunsaka linga. Am I right? There are only Strilinga, Pullinga. All the nouns. Kliblinga is there. Oh, sorry. Kliba is Napunsaka. But in Hindi, you have Pullinga and Strilinga. There is nothing called neuter gender. There are only two genders. In Sanskrit, though we do have three genders, Strilinga, Pullinga, Napunsakalinga, Ramaha is Pullinga, Sita is Strilinga, Phalam, a fruit, or Jalam, water, they are all Napunsaka. But then some words, quite a good number, though they are not, animals or human beings with a linga, they are either Pullinga or Strilinga. For example, mantra is Pullinga. Eshaha mantraha. Whereas Veda mantras at places are called Ruk. Ruk is Strilinga. Esha Ruk Abhyukta is cited here. Another form of the same is Richa. Richa is also feminine. Shrutihi means Vedas, is feminine. Vedaha, same meaning, is masculine. So, because that sentence came, after Brahma vidapnoti param, tadesha abhyukta. Because esha rak abhyukta, satyam jnanam anantam brahma, and whoever knows this as present in the cave of one's own heart attains total fulfillment, soshnute sarvan kaman saha, and so on. Then I want to make a quick reference. There is one line after 3 or 4 lines after this, Brahma vidapnoti param, tasmad va etasmad atmanaha akasha sambhutaha. The reference first, as you heard, we elaborated on it. Reference first was to Brahman. And whoever knows Brahma attains the Supreme. Then what is Brahma is given, we will go into it in some detail. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Nature of Brahma is existence, consciousness and infinite, for infinity. And then it says, from that, implying Brahman, and then one more word is used, Atmanaha, that is from that Atma. I am making a quick and short reference to it because these are the places where we say Brahma, Upanishads themselves say he is the Atma. If somebody says, no, but Atma also refers to God and not to individual soul, yesterday we had quoted Kathopanishad mantra, Pratyagatmanam Aikshat. Atma Shabda has been used at a number of places for one's own inner essence. Therefore, it becomes possible to interpret either way. This is a difficulty in the original scriptures themselves. The word Atma at a number of places indicates our true nature, everybody's inner nature. Brahma and Ishvara, etc. is kept for the God principle. But other schools of thought are also right, because at some places the word Atma stands for God too. This is a difficulty. So if you say, but why did the rishis give out Vedas like that? It is like asking, why did people name the city also New York and state also New York? You can't say, no, I can't accept it. Or you can't say, there are a number of such situations. After all this advancement, being the most developed and the superpower of the world, why is United States still sticking with FPS system? Foot, pound and second. They should go to MKS, decimal. Meter, centimeter, decimeter. And time also they should go for, the whole world. It's not just US. The whole world sticks to the 12 hours. It should be 10 or it should be 100. Go decimal. Maths will be easy. No. It has been said. So we are told that is one area where you cannot encroach. Just this is the system. Aisa hai, don't ask. Like that, in the Vedas, the Atma Shabda is used at times to imply God, at times to imply individual soul. Then comes this issue. Having said Brahma vidapnoti param, and that Brahma is Satya Jnana Ananta, then it says, from that which is Atma, tasmadva etasmad atmanah akasha sambhutaha. So it is in a way another Mahavakya. If you take the definition of Mahavakya as any statement that indicates the oneness of Brahma and Atma, the universal self and the individual self in its inner nature, not the external appearance, this is a mantra. Tasmadva, implying Tasmad Brahmanaha, etasmad Atmanaha. It's like statements where you say, that Narasimha Rao, my uncle, came yesterday. What does it mean? Narasimha Rao is my uncle. You are using this Narasimha Rao, my uncle, came yesterday and met me. It means my uncle is Narasimha Rao. That way, tasmad, etasmad atmanaha, akasha sambhutaha. Space arose. From space arose fire. From akashad vayuhu. From space came wind. From wind came fire. From fire came water. From water came earth. There is a whole Srishti Prakarana. So we will not go into it. Now we say a few words about Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. This is a very important statement. In fact, to quote Shankara himself, this Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma helps us see. We know very well, we see always the world as well as ourselves with name and form, with some description, with color, with taste, with sound, with various qualities, with various judgments. And that is called, any attribute, technically it's called attribute. When you say, oh, that lotus is blue, you have attributed blueness to the lotus. Any description. You say, that's my aunt, and she is the director of, Recently an Indian lady became deputy director of, did you get that news? A WHO, World Health Organization. So if somebody here is a nephew or cousin of that lady, I forgot her first name, but last name is Swaminathan. Huh? Saumya? Correct, thank you, yeah, right. Saumya Swaminathan, just 10 days back or so, has assumed the position of Deputy Director of WHO, World Health Organization. She is the daughter of the famous agriculture scientist M.S. Swāminathan, Professor M.S. Swāminathan. So if you say, that's my cousin, Saumya Swāminathan, and she is Deputy Director of World Health Organizations, lady of Indian origin, and so on. These are all attributes. And the Sanskrit word for attribute sometimes can be guna, sometimes can be vishesha. Vishesha is attribute. Elsewhere Vishesha can mean something special. After all, they are not much different. If you just introduce, this is Saumya Swāminathan, my cousin, your friend may ask, what is special about her? Why are you introducing her to me? What is special? Oh, what are you asking? She is the first lady of Indian origin to come as high as being DD of, that is Vishesha, ko-visheshaha. But here we take it as attribute, and the important statement is Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma goes in the direction of pointing out Vidhuta Sarva Upadi Vishesha Atma. Vidhuta means freed off. Vidhuta means stripped off. Vidhuta is when you take something and shake it, that dust goes away. Anything sticking here and there, goes away. You have a carpet and you realize that there is a lot of dust and other particles. So if you have enough hands at home, 4 of you holding 4 ends, go to this sunshine, and that is in Sanskrit called dhunoti, and the adjective is dhuta. Dhuta, vidhuta. So there is an expression here which is of importance. Vidhuta sarva upadi vishesha atma darshanartham idam arabhyate. Satyam jnanam anantam brahma, a very famous statement. Bhajans are also written on that. On one occasion I had gone to Los Angeles, and a parivrajika in the Vedanta society, Swāmis and parivrajikas. Men are, when they take that, initiation, they take the highest vows, they are called Swāmis. And the ladies who take the highest vows are called parivrajikas. A parivrajika joined me in a satsang, and some of you may have heard, she sang a bhajan. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, with harmonium. Satyam Brahma, Jnanam Brahma, Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. I don't know any more lines of the bhajan. My bhajans are always like that, one-liner. But there is a bhajan like that. I said it because I want to tell you it is a very popular line. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma, and what is more, the very popular, more popular expression, Satchidananda. Brahman is Satchidananda, we hear everywhere. That is actually derived from this with a little liberty with respect to the last word. The original Upanishad mantra says Ananta, infinite, having no limits, having no boundaries, having no borders, having nothing to constrain it, Ananta. Whereas in the expression Satchidananda, first two are same, Satchit are same as Satyam Jnanam, Ananda entered. So that may have its own background. I don't know who changed it and why they changed it. Maybe they felt. There is an increased feeling among people sometimes that this Brahman is dry. We want Brahman, make it a little juicy. So put Ananda. Whatever it is, it's not injustice to the theme. because there is a philosophical basis. Your sorrow is invariably upon recognizing yourself to be limited, helpless, constrained. My hands are tied. I want to do this, I cannot. I want to eat that, I cannot. I want to go there, I cannot. So a certain constraint is the cause of our sorrow. And ananta, without a limit, means no constraints, and therefore connected to ananda. However, come back to satyam jnanam anantam brahma. Satya here, we will see a little elaborately in the next class. This very important statement deserves much reflection. Satyam here is not some ordinary statement where, for some report we say this is a true report. This is a true report, it's not a fake report, it's not a false report. So and so had done this, and this guy is saying to us, maybe in a court of law, as you have in courts, right, with the hand on Gita or Bible or some holy book. In Hindi they have it's there in all languages, I suppose. Sach kahunga, sach hi kahunga, सच के सिवा कुछ नहीं कहूंगा. There are 3 lines. I shall speak now the truth, I shall speak the truth only, and other than truth, I shall not speak anything. There it is limited to reporting one episode, one incident, one, something that happened somewhere. That's about it. But here we will see in its greater detail, Satya here means something the nature of which doesn't change at all. And Brahma, which is the Atma, is Satya. And implications are tremendous. When we take ourselves to be the personality, body and other things, you cannot say that is Satya. Every moment the body is changing. Every moment our mind is changing. However, every moment million things in us are changing. Outside and inside, in the macrocosm and in the microcosm, things are changing continuously. Therefore, what on the earth could be this Satya which Upanishads are talking? Nothing is changeless. But Shankara says, hold on, there is something which is Satya, and that is your basic being, your basic existence. So Satya is basic existence. For analogy's sake, mrittika, clay, is taken. It is made into some pitcher, some pail, some vessel. Then it is broken. Then it is processed. Again you make a doll. Again you make some other art piece. Again it is broken. The pitcher, the pail, the flower vase, the pot, the vessel, the doll, all those are they continuously change. Yesterday it was a pail, today it is a pitcher. But clay is the same. This is what Uddalaka says in same 6th chapter of Chandogya to his son. Dear Shvetaketu, just as many forms, many modifications come and go, but clay remains the same. That way, in you, in me, in everyone, there is something deep within which does not change, and that alone is true. Vikaraha, modifications, are just a functional convenience. The Upanishad mantra over there says, it is for vyavahara. We say this is pitcher. When it is changed into some other thing, we say this is a doll. So we say this is doll, that is pitcher, that is a vessel. For Vyavahara, yes, you cannot use a doll as a vessel. You cannot use a vessel as a plate. So, Vacharambanam vikaro namadheyam mrittika ityeva satyam is a punchline in the Chandogya Upanishad. Vikaraha, modifications are vacha arambanam. For talking sake, please do go ahead. Please do. Even though it is several centuries since humanity found out the sun doesn't actually rise, poets, even lay people, all of us do talk about these days what time is the sunrise in this part of the world. You may be a PhD in physics, but you don't stop saying sunrise, sunset. Likewise, vacharambanam, vacha is speech, arambanam, an activity of speech may call all this. Therefore, even when we have the liberating insight of Vedanta, you hear people talking of, he is a great man, she is an accomplished lady, this one is a jailbird, that one is up and down, high and low. And in Vyavahara Bhumi, in the transactional world, you may yourself also introduce, though you have the liberating insight. I am none of this, I am the changeless Atma. But outwardly, in Laukika Vibhaga, you may continue to say, I am not as rich as that person. For this work to be done, let us ask for a donation from that rich man. So he is rich, I am poor. This you continue. And what is more, even an Advaitin may continue to say, I am a Hanuman Bhakta. I am very devoted to this school of thought, etc. But if the Vedanta teaching has sunk in him or her, all this is vacharambanam, mrittika ityeva satyam. There is a quiet, intuitive recognition of that changeless essence, that is satyam. Jnanam also is not any specific knowledge of French or Latin, knowledge of cooking or bicycle riding, knowledge of this man or that woman. Those are all specific forms. Knowledge again is stripped here of all those specifics. The word used is jnanam, but we have a rather abstract commentary here which tells us jnanam is the very principle behind all knowledge. It is knowledge. Without it, no knowledge takes place. But the moment specifics get into the business of knowledge, knowing, etc., that is already a departure from what is meant by jnanam. And both of these have their own meanings. Anantam, the bhāshyas clarifies, doesn't have its own meaning. It only dismisses an anta. Anta is limitation. That which has no limitations. And these three, in one sense, are adjectives. There are some interesting, discussions here which sharpen our logic, which polish our thinking. Normally, an adjective is to distinguish one object from another, and normally both the objects are in the same category. When you say blue lotus, which I said a while ago in some other context, it is to distinguish one lotus from another. When I say somebody wore a green shirt, I know somebody else is wearing a black shirt. It's about shirts. So when you say Satyam Brahma, how can that be? There's only one Brahman. There are two shirts, one is black, one is green. Then blue, black and green are meaningful. But if there were to be only one object, an adjective has no role to play. An argument can be made. And then it is said, oh, well, good, this such kind of thinking, such application of the intellect is helpful to you in the spiritual. It's not just dry logic leading you nowhere. Don't imagine that it has the only purpose of maybe writing an essay, getting some degree, etc., to fill the pages of a dissertation, etc. No. It is through this kind of subtle operation of the intellect that you will be able to actually do the nirakarana, negation. You will be able to do the apavada. Apavada again is negation. It is said, just as though sun may be one, we do say the bright sun. Other things are bright, but they are not suns, some lamp or some other thing. Or Shankara gives another example to point out what is space, akasha. You give a description. Avakasha pradatra akasham. That which accommodates is space. So that which accommodates is a description, is an adjective. But it is about space, which is one without a second. The principle of space is one. So we are going to consider a few such arguments, such points, and then we come upon a better grasp of this nirupadika satya, nirvishesha satya. No attributes, no description. And now itself I will make a mention, towards the end of this commentary by Ādi Shankara, he himself raises an issue. After studying all this, after I said all this, somebody may still feel the way things have been stripped, removed, viduta. It seems that you are talking about some Brahman which simply cannot be. There is no such thing, because you have stripped it of all possible qualities, descriptions, and the Purvapakshi, the imagined opponent, comes out with a nice shloka. We will go into it again also, but quickly to mention. This Brahman that you are talking about, in as much as you have said it has no color, no taste, no, everything. It is perhaps like, I heard of somebody who once took bath in the water of the mirage. Mirage has no water. And after taking bath, freshening up, he wore, that flower which grows in the sky? Kapushpa. Ka means Akasha. And first of all, you know whom we are talking about. He is the son of that barren woman, Vandya Sutaha. And what is that last part? A humorous shloka. If you, after all this, Vedanta, you say, I am tired of it, just tell me what is humorous in Vedanta. So, Mrigatrashnam vasisnatah kapushpakrita shekaraha yesha vandhya suto yati shashashranga dhanurdharaha. Here goes the son of the barren woman, which is an impossibility, who has just taken bath in the water of the mirage, and who is putting on his head the flower that grows in the sky, and he is holding a bow, dhanu, and you know what it is made of? The horns of a rabbit. Shashashranga dhanuhu dharaha. So, it is put in the mouth of the Purvapakshi. So is Brahman like that? The way you have, there's nothing that remains finally. Then it is again answered, no. It seems to be too abstract, but your true essence is not shunya. It's actually an answer to shunyavadis. As I said once or twice, Shankara was mainly not confronting Dvaitis or Vishishtadvaitis. He had to confront, on one hand, karmakandis, on the other, some Buddhists were also active at that time. Most of the Buddhists had already been out of the country, it appears, because the Hindus, the Indians, had such faith in Vedas. Though Buddha shook it up for a while, his teachings did not last long in the country. Even today, Buddhism is growing more in Western countries than in India. India is the place of birth of Buddhism, of Buddha. But Buddhism, even today, doesn't, strike a chord with the Indian mind. The Hindu mind, they somehow say, thank you. their faith in God, their faith in Vedas, their faith in numerous karma and so on is so strong. Dvaiti, Vidyadvaiti, Vishishtadvaiti, Shuddha Advaita, anything. There are so many schools. Indian mind is so wedded to Vedic wisdom. So he was battling Shunyavada on one hand and Karma Kandi, that limited understanding of the Vedas. Om.